Hey guys, this is Miss Cry from Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship. We've reached my favorite topic, which is the ocean and everything about it. So we're going to start with what is the ocean? The ocean is a continuous body of saltwater that covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface. About 70% of the Earth is made up of water, and more than 97% of this is saltwater. And this graph is just showing you that the majority of Earth is made up of salt water, and this little green sliver is fresh water, but we only have access to drinking water of fresh water, which is about 1% out of 100. It's very small. There are 5 major oceans around the world. From smallest to largest, they are the Arctic, Southern, Indian, Atlantic, and Pacific Ocean. And this is just showing a picture of where they are. The Arctic is up at the North Pole. The Southern is in Antarctica. The next smallest one is the Indian Ocean by Australia, Africa, and Asia. And the ocean that's closest to us, because we're in New York, would be the Atlantic Ocean. And the biggest ocean is the Pacific. Less than 5% of the planet's oceans have been discovered. So this is just showing you that 100% of Mars and 100% of the moon have been mapped, and we know what's around this planet. And this is our planet, planet Earth. This blue dot is what we've discovered. All of this gray area is what we still have yet to discover. And the name Pacific Ocean comes from a Latin name meaning peaceful sea. The first zone we are getting into is the sunlit zone. The sunlit zone is the top part of the ocean. It is the area of water that receives the most sunlight. This goes all the way down to about 600 feet. In this zone, algae, plants, and phytoplankton thrive and are the start of nearly all ocean food chains. We'll learn about a different food chain at another zone very soon. There is enough sunlight for plants to grow and photosynthesis to take place. Remember, photosynthesis is when plants can make their own food from the sun. Even though this is the smallest zone out of the 3, it supports about 90% of all marine life. And this is a blue-ringed octopus. The most venomous octopus has blue rings on it. The octopus can almost regrow tentacles if one is cut off. Similar to a cuttlefish, octopus can squirt ink into the water to warn predators to stay away. We'll see a cuttlefish pretty soon. This is a brittle star. It lives on rocky sea floors. They are not fish, but they are related to sea stars or starfish. They do not have a backbone, which means they're invertebrate, and move very slowly. If one of their arms falls off, it will regrow. And so it's very important for sea stars to have 5 limbs so they can move around correctly and they can find food. Oh, this is a giant fish. This fish has the largest brain of any fish that we know of. It can grow to have a 29-foot wingspan, which is from one fin to another, and can be up to 5,300 pounds. This is called a giant manta ray. This is a jellyfish. It's the biggest jellyfish of all. It's called a lion's mane jellyfish, and all jellyfish are really made up of 98% water. This one can be over 3 feet across and have tentacles that are 120 feet long. And this is the cuttlefish I was talking about. This marine animal has 8 arms, similar to an octopus, 2 tentacles, and a soft body. But it can change color to at least 13 different color patterns and shoot ink to the water to confuse predators. So this cuttlefish kind of looks like a zebra, but it can change so many different colors. And I recommend going to this YouTube site. It'll show you all the different colors. This is another colorful creature. This is a mantis shrimp. This animal has the most complex eyes in the entire animal kingdom, which means they can see 10 times more color than humans can. There are about 400 species in the world. And this is the largest animal ever to exist, the blue whale, and it can be at least 110 feet long and weighs about 209 tons. And if I don't really convert tons that often, but that's almost 500,000 pounds. This is a very poisonous animal. It's called a Portuguese man of war, and it can actually stop a human's heart. So their stinging tentacles can be up to 165 feet long, And this animal has a little sail that floats above the water. This is another one of my favorite animals. This is a whale shark. This is the largest fish in the world. It may seem scary, but they are very calm creatures and they filter feed. So that means they're going to open their big, wide mouths and they're going to suck in all the water, everything that comes in, even the fish, but they're going to spit the water out and just keep what they need, just the food and the nutrients. So coral reefs are also in the sunlit zone. They're animals. They're fixed to one place and they grow a very hard skeleton. They come together to form coral reefs, and they are home to more than 4,000 species of fish. Many people call coral reefs the rainforest of the ocean. One of the most well-known movies, Finding Nemo, has coral reefs in it. And it's really cool. They have a symbiotic relationship. This means it's kind of like a friendship. They benefit from each other. So the clownfish gets fed by the anemone by cleaning away fish and algae leftovers. And while the anemone is being cleaned, it is given better water circulation because the clownfish moves its fins while it's swimming around. There are two types of coral, hard and soft corals. So hard corals create their skeleton out of something called calcium carbonate. It is a very hard substance that will eventually become rock. And I actually took these pictures while I was scuba diving. This is a brain coral. It's a huge rock. It looks like a brain. That's why it has its name. And this is a pillar coral. It looks like big noodles coming out from the ground. These would be the soft corals. They're called sea fans. And they kind of look like plants or trees, but they don't have a stony skeleton. And they grow wood-like cores for support and soft outer skin for protection. So when you're underwater, you'll see these soft corals moving back and forth just like a fan in slow motion. There's a species called Patterson cleaner shrimp who live in corkscrew anemone within coral reefs. Their job is to clean bacteria off fish and living organisms. So these cleaner shrimp will wave their antenna around and kind of call to these fish to line up so they can get cleaned. So the shrimp will clean out all the bacteria from the inside of these fish, and that's their job.